What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Happy Monday, people. Hope you are well. And, oh man, I don't know. It's, usually when it's international break, I'm fuming. I'm like, oh, who wants to watch England in a qualifier or Steve McLaren's Jamaica? I don't know. But to be honest, after that game on Saturday, I actually don't mind the fact that it's an international break. And Steve McLaren's Jamaica looks pretty good for me to watch right now. Leon Bailey is back. So I think that's where I'm at right now. I didn't actually call it Arsenal therapy. It felt a little bit early to call it Arsenal therapy, but maybe I should have called it that. I mean, we're going to talk. I don't know if I'm overreacting. I am in my feelings right now. I'm not even going to lie, people. This is like old school R&B from the 2000s. This is like, you know, Ray J standing outside in the rain. This is Usher Raymond, you know, Let It Burn settings. Some people are messaging me saying, yeah, it's a good point against Brighton with 10 men. I'm sorry, people, not for me. I am outside in the rain at 3 a.m. singing, you know, if I had one wish. I'm moving like that right now, people. Like, this is like the early Drake albums, Marvin's Room and all them. I'm in my feelings. And I need to know if the community are in their feelings, because I'm sorry, but that was not a good football weekend as an Arsenal fan. I'm sorry, I did. And I couldn't get out of it. I just couldn't get out of the way I was feeling. I mean, I watched Man United get smashed by Liverpool at Old Trafford. And we know we love bantering your Man United mates. But even that couldn't get me out of the situation I was in. Because, to be honest, I looked at Liverpool and I thought, do you know what? We got another problem there. And I said it the other day. It's all right thinking, yo, Man City in front of us. We got a Liverpool that look like they could cause some damage. But it is what it is. Life goes on. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. It's because under normal circumstances, drawing at home with Brighton, being down to 10 men for that long, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. There's plenty of time to recover from that situation. But the problem is, the team that we're competing against to win the league, they are not normal. They're not a normal team. Like, we're not competing with a regular title-winning football team that has, you know, got some good players. And no, this ain't not. The guy playing up front for Manchester City, he is not normal. That is Johnny Five. That is Terminator. That is RoboCop. That guy is a monster. Like, that is King Kong right there. It's madness what we're competing with. I just want to break down a stat. And I know it's early in the season. You might say it's too early for that. Bro, Haaland scored more goals than Arsenal. And I know we're only 3 games in. It's early. That will change. But right now, Haaland's got more goals than Arsenal. Not Havertz, not Saka. Arsenal. He's outscoring us. Like, it's madness. We got 5, he's got 7. Yo, it's wild. That Viking, we need to ban him. Somebody's got to do something. Stop him. Poison his dinner. Not seriously, but get him, you know, bad belly, some bellyache, little bit of diarrhea. We got to get him out. He's scoring more than us. It's not fair. It's a cheat code. But guess what? That's what the transfer window is for. You have June, July, August. This is your free time. Go and enjoy yourself. Sort it out. Go and buy a striker. Yeah, you might not get a Haaland level striker, but you can get somebody that's going to bang goals in for you. But we don't need a striker because we have King Kai Havertz. That's what we're calling him, King Kai. It's shameless as hell. I like it. Support your players, nicknames, songs. I get it. But also, you know, reality has to set in. I'm telling you, them Scousers are a problem this season. We all thought Klopp going, that's them out the way for a year. Nah, they ain't going nowhere, people. They're a problem as well. They are a problem. Yeah, remember, we spread the goals. But don't worry, people. We spread the goals. So we'll be all right. We'll score 100 goals. Anyway, listen, I will try and restore some clarity. It's not the end of the world, but it's definitely a major blip on the fixture list this early in the season. And the problem with Arsenal is last season it wasn't the big teams. It was these type of games. It was Fulham at home. It was West Ham at home. It was Villa at home. Games we should have won that we didn't. And you just have that horrible feeling, oh man, you're drawing already. Third game in, Brighton at home. In a game you're 1-0 up. Next game's Tottenham away. Game after that, Atalanta away. Game after that, Manchester City away. Not happy. Not happy, people. Honestly. International breaks are horrible because you have to sit there for 2 weeks and lap up whatever the last result was. And, you know, listen, there'll be people in the chat today saying, listen, not the end of the world, keep it moving, it's a draw. But you know the standards that we're up against, those draws are damaging, you know, early in the season. So, listen, let's hope. The only thing Arsenal can do right now to fix that result, you go to Tottenham and beat them. You go to Tottenham, you beat them. It's a tough game. I know we laugh at Tottenham and stuff, and I get it, but without Declan Rice, that's a tough game for Arsenal. Because you worry about the midfield that we're going to have out and the lack of energy. And we do have a problem with our midfield at the moment. But listen, we're going to talk. We'll go into more detail. Big up everyone in the chat. Well, the reason I didn't call it Arsenal therapy is because it's too early to press the panic button. But we should all have that concern that something's not right. And I'm not, even if we'd have beaten Brighton, there are things that I'm a little bit concerned about moving forward. I think we've got to get minimum 4 games out of the next 2 games. So that's beat Tottenham, draw with Man City. Of course, beat Tottenhm, beat Man City is what I'm aiming for. But that is the minimum. Arsenal have to get 4 out of those next 2 Premier League games. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Big up to everyone locked in. Big up Tashik, who's gifted a membership to someone in the community. Big up yourself. And we got 1 or 2 things to talk about. Now, a few of you were saying, get the little highlights Monday thing that I used to do. Get it back on. So I'm going to try and do it. One thing I'm not going to do too much today, by the way. And a lot of channels will do this. And I get it. And I totally understand it. But I'm just not going to go down this road too much today. Declan Rice's red card, right? A lot of people are going crazy about the referee. Now, I'm not sitting here saying I'm in disagreement with you, because I'm not. The standard of refereeing in the Premier League is shambolic. I've said it for years. I said they have to start getting referees from abroad. It's the richest league in the world. We have some of the worst referees in the world. It's a major problem. But I also have a real problem with victim mentality. I don't like it. I just don't. And I may be wrong. Some of you may be in the comments thinking, nah, this guy's wrong. The ref cost us the game. But I'm a great believer in looking at what you can affect and what you can change. If you've done everything you can do and then you can't do anything else and the referee ruins the game for you, I understand that. The crazy thing about that game, we could have won it even without that refereeing decision. Like, I went online and all I saw was ref. And I'm like, okay, I understand your point. The referee could have used common sense and thought, it's so soft, I don't need to give him the second yellow, because it is soft. It's not like he blasted the ball away. However, Kai Havertz one-on-one with a goalkeeper, bro, to make it 2-1. Why is nobody talking about Havertz missing a one-on-one that he should score? Saka at the back post, yeah, he's stretching, but he can do better. Like, the goal that we conceded was absolute Sunday league level. So I look at what we can do better as well. Now, don't get me wrong, of course that refereeing decision affects the dynamics of the game. The midfield's more open. We're doing more running. Brighton are getting more of the ball. I don't rate that ref. I think he could have. But also, let me say this. Rice has to take some responsibility. He said in his interview after the game, I made a mistake. He said that. He said it was soft, and I believe it was a soft red card, but he admitted he made a mistake, and he did. So he has to take responsibility for that. You kick the ball a yard away, you kick the ball 10 yards away. You've given that referee a decision to make. You don't give him one. You're on a yellow. These referees are poor. Don't kick the ball away, bro. That's my point. We know how bad the refs are, so don't give bad refs decisions to make. The referee is shocking. If you don't kick the ball, he can't book you physically. So I think Declan Rice will have been sitting there that evening and said, you know, he said it in the interview. He got it wrong, and he did get it wrong, and people have to acknowledge that. Listen, the refs are shocking, and we all have to have that conversation. But let's look at ourselves as well. Rice shouldn't kick that ball away on a yellow card. Whether it's a yard or 10 yards, you were stupid. You should have been more mature than that. You tried to play a silly game and you get silly prizes. You thought he was going to get sent off or booked for kicking you, but you'd committed something before him. We win that game with 11 players on the pitch. I said at half time, 2 centre mids on a yellow card, they got to be careful. You do something stupid. Yeah, he should have booked Pedro in the first half for the same thing. But that's my opinion. Not everyone will agree. You guys give me your opinion. Sniper said if we lose to Spurs and City, the gap is 7 points. Well, that would be game over. Ike Gang said, get Rabiot now, desperate times. Rabiot's available on a free. Would you take him? I don't like Rabiot. You know, his mum's always talking and stuff, but he probably wouldn't do too bad in this squad at the moment. Just quickly, before we move on, what do you guys make of the whole refereeing thing? Simon said, the brutal truth is we did not lose because of the ref. The multiple chances we missed. We should have cruised by half-time. Game could have been over by half-time, to be honest. Curtis wants 100% conversion rate from a striker. And listen, I get that. Ayodeji, I get that, you know. Strikers miss one-on-ones. I always think, and again, I could be wrong with this. It's just my opinion. I think the best goal scorers score in the crucial moments. So, the best 2 goal scorers in the Premier League are Salah and Haaland. I think you would see Haaland miss a big chance at 2-0 up, 3-0 up. He's casual, he might miss one. At 1-1 with 15 minutes to go, I just don't think Haaland misses that. And I don't think Salah misses that. I think they score that. But listen, that's just my opinion. It could be wrong. Aiden said the ref had an absolute shocker. Why wasn't the Brighton player sent off too? Ball was still moving, so he can't take the free kick anyway. We need to do better. Do Man City lose with 10 men? Man City win that game, in my opinion, with 10 men. I don't think Brighton were even that great with 10 men. They had 1 big chance, we had 2. But listen, at the same time, I'm not excusing the refereeing. The refereeing is a shambles. But we could have won that game even with that poor referee, you know, and that's my issue. The refs aren't going to change. We can't appeal the Declan Rice because it was 2 yellows, and we can't do anything about the missed chances, you know, but we could have during the game. Lawrence said, obviously the ref was wrong. I was annoyed with our in-game management. The next 5 to 10 minutes after Rice got sent off, Simeone and Pep would have held on for a draw. Well, we did get the draw, but it felt like a win. Martin said, conversations need to be had about Odegaard's start to the season. I think he's been poor so far. He looked decent in pre-season. Leahy said, it is not out of bounds to say the ref caused the game. We were cruising. The game changed with the red. We could have won, but it was important that we didn't lose. Yeah, of course the refereeing decision affects the game. It does. But it was stupid from Declan Rice, regardless. Let's quickly review the game. And then we'll do player ratings, and then we'll talk about there's been a bid for Trossard and so on and so forth. Big up to everyone locked in. I'm only going to do this quickly because I held a copyright last time, so unfortunately I can't play any footage. We're just going to look at 1 or 2 things. Now, this is where I start to have a problem with Arsenal. And listen, I said last week Saliba is arguably my favourite centre-back since Tony Adams. And I love Saliba. And I love Gabriel. If you look at the best defences and you look at the best managers over time, when you're down to 10 men, tighten your team up, right? Get more narrow and tighten them. Deny space in central areas. If you're going to be weak somewhere, be weak out wide. Because ultimately, people don't score goals directly from wide areas most of the time. Obviously, they have to put a cross in. If your bodies are narrow, at least you can affect it. This defending for this goal, I'm not exaggerating when I say it is Sunday League level defending. It is shambolic. Shambolic, people. The gap between Gabriel and Saliba is terrible. I'm going to give them one bit of defense, right, in this. Gabriel often goes further along to the left-hand side because our left-back inverts and goes central. So if you notice, a lot of the time, Gabriel will cover the left-back in case we get caught on the counter-attack. So I give him a little bit, because a lot of people are saying Gabriel. Gabriel, a lot of the time, covers the left-back. And again, this goes on to Arteta, and this goes on to, because I would have maybe said, we can't invert as much now, we're down to 10 men. We need that solid back four. Don't concede. We're still winning the game 1-0, even when Declan Rice has been sent off. You're winning. If you can avoid conceding a goal, we get out of here with a 1-0 victory. But we're wide open. Ben White's out here. Saliba, there was some confusion because he came across. He's tracking this guy here, central. Gabriel then comes across. And obviously, I wish I could play the whole thing. But Thomas Partey has absolutely zero reaction to this situation. As you can see now, as he moves along, this guy's quick as well, by the way. He gets away from Saliba. Gabriel kind of tries to avoid his body. Look at this. Do you know what? Let me go back to this situation. This is where I'm going to start going crazy. This is where you go crazy, right? Let me bring it back. Thomas Partey here is pretty much next to João Pedro, right? They're pretty much next to each other as that ball's about to split them. Remember, João Pedro scores the goal. If Thomas Partey sprints in a straight line here, even though, to be honest, he's probably not as quick as João Pedro, but if he does, he might be able to have some effect on João Pedro as that ball breaks to him. Unfortunately for us, 2 seconds later, he's behind him and he just kind of stops. Look how it's developing. He's actually... Apologies, I'm having to play this in like a freeze frame. He actually stops running. When you watch this video back, at this point, he sort of stops. It's almost like he pauses and just watches this guy shoot. Maybe he thinks he's going to score. Or he just gives up. He thinks, oh yeah, he's going to shoot. I'll just stop it. Ball's been saved. Look at him again. No reaction. He's completely freeze-framed. He hasn't moved. Statue of Liberty. And then it comes back out. At this point, David Raya saved it. The ball's coming to Pedro. Pedro's in line with the penalty spot. Thomas Partey's on the edge of the penalty area. This is our number 6 that we're using this season. You're meant to be sniffing out danger. We're down to 10 men. Don't gamble and think, let the 2 centre-backs deal with it and I'll have a little jog. You're doing the mannequin challenge. You're right, Jahan. That girl is a real crowd, please. You're supposed to be our number 6. Our enforcer. Sniff out the danger. We're down to 10 men. Even if they're 2v2, go and help them and be the extra man. What's up? What's going on with this guy? And again, I want to speak about Arsenal and Arteta. Why have we sacrificed Declan Rice in the 6th role to put Partey in the 6th role? When he doesn't sniff out danger. You're down to 10 men. Get your 2 centre-backs close together. Timber, you're not inverting for the next 10 minutes. Tuck in, solid back 4. Partey sits. Odegaard drops 10 yards. The wingers tuck in. Keep Havertz up there. We try and hit them on the counter-attack. We're winning the game. We don't have to score. Defend properly. Nick it 1-0. Get out of there. Your DM's jogging backwards. Your 2 centre-backs are pulled apart. Timber's still inverting. Gabriel don't know whether to cover. And we're wide. And one ball from Lewis Dunk splits our whole team. Midfield wide open. Defence wide open. Finish. We're done. They equalise. Disgusting defending from the team. Where's the leadership? Where's Martin Odegaard, the captain? Get the team together tight. But again, it's instructions from the manager. So ultimately, it's not down to them. This is just nothing but agony. This is like not stretching properly after a game and waking up with cramp. I mean, Kai Havertz, right? We saw the best and the worst of Kai Havertz in this game. I want to say, by the way, Havertz was one of our better players, you know. He really was. He was one of our better players, which says a lot about the performance, really, when you think about what I'm about to say here. Now, like someone said, strikers don't score every chance. However, at the very top, the very top, the crazy thing about this, you know, if he opens up his body, the goalkeeper's already going to his left. So the goalkeeper's already gambling that he's going to go across goal. If Havertz would have seen him, he could have opened up his body and gone near post, and he scores. Look at the goalkeeper. He's already falling. If you go across him, I think you've got to drill it past him with your laces. Drill it in the bottom corner. When you look at the finish, he doesn't smash the shot. He doesn't smash it. Almost like he hits it hard with his side foot and the goalkeeper saves it. Listen, it's not a terrible finish. It's not straight at him. But again, without being really harsh, I think Haaland scores that. And I think Salah scores that. You know, listen, I'll be honest. The side that he puts the chance is not necessarily the wrong side, because it's very difficult for him to look up at the last minute and know that the goalkeeper's falling and just whip it in the near post. He's got pressure from the defender. You know, it's a pressure moment. I think the side he puts it is not totally wrong. I just think he's got to hit it harder and across goal with his laces. And I'm sorry, but I think Haaland definitely scores that. And you could even lift it over him, because the keeper ends up going on the floor quickly. I might sound harsh. It's not a terrible finish, but it's a finish that ultimately costs us 3 points, along with the red card and along with other things in the game. But that was the chance. You know, when you're down to 10 men against a good team, you're not going to get many opportunities. This was the biggest chance of the game. And it summed Kai Havertz up, because the first touch is absolute magic, the way he turns the guy. Then he outpaces him. And you're like, during that watch along, I'm thinking, if he scores this, I'm going absolutely mental. This is probably the best goal he's ever scored for Arsenal. And he misses it. And he misses it. And it's a bad miss. It's a bad, bad miss. And it's painful. And is it the reason we should have signed a striker? Because ultimately, Havertz will score goals. Havertz will put in good performances. But will Havertz score the big chances in the big moments? Those moments will define your season. And that's where I'm at with Havertz. I don't think Havertz is a bad player. And I do think Havertz will score goals this year. But I don't think Havertz will score the big moments. Not all the time. Maybe sometimes. Cliffo said Tony, Osimhen, Haaland, Gyökeres, they all score that. Maybe. Amo said our issue yesterday is we are not creating enough. Odegaard is below par 100%. Odegaard started the season very slow. DJ said 5 chances, 1 goal for Havertz. Gunnar G, I was so disappointed with that chance in that game. I thought he was going to score, I really did. Curtis Trossard and Arteta not good, it seems, said DS. TRN said, I'm sick of Arsenal, 20 years, non-champ mentality and toxic positivity. Always a solution. Transfer closed. Rabiot, French Euro, starting 11, true, left foot, true 8, go get him. Would you guys take Rabiot on a free in this situation where we look a bit short in midfield? I don't know. TRN said, glad to be back on C-Unit channel. I conclude to stop attaching to Arsenal. Looking at Man City and Liverpool, title is done for us unless they are getting worse and we get better. We can get better, but it needs to happen quick. Jorge said, Arteta should have subbed earlier. They took too long. Matt Southern these are the type of games that come back to haunt you late in the season. Drop points, can't be doing that this season. We need maximum results. And ultimately, drawing at home with Brighton feels like a defeat for me, even with 10 men, because you know what you're up against. And like I said earlier, you're not up against a normal team, a normal manager, or a normal striker. As I said, for anybody just tuning in, I know we're only 3 games in. Haaland scored more goals than Arsenal. Like, take that in, people. He scored more goals than Arsenal in this opening 3 games. Now, I know, listen, end of the season, we'll score 80, 90 goals. He's not going to get that. But it just shows the kind of start that guy has made already. It's absolutely insane. I actually looked in and thought, West Ham away, quite a few new signings, could be a tricky game. They went there and just battered them. And looking at the fixtures, people, Man City's next game's Brentford at home. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say he could score another hat-trick in that game. Man City play Brentford at home. Haaland could score a hat-trick in that game. Like, genuinely. Brentford at home, no Tony, he could score a hat. He could be on 10 goals in 4 games. Like, it's insane what we're up against. Aidan said our midfield... Partey, Havertz, Odegaard. Well, we're going to talk about the midfield. One other thing I wanted to look at. What was the other one? It was Saka. The Odegaard one as well in the first half. I haven't got that on the timestamp actually, but he should do a lot better with that. It's this one, innit? Where is it? Oh dear, oh dear. This is actually a great ball from Havertz on his right foot. I mean, he's stretching a little bit. Oh, what a chance. You've got half the goal to aim at, to be honest. When you watch this back, and I'm sure you guys have played it back, the goalkeeper is literally slightly to the side. He's got the whole near post. Any sort of decent power towards this near post, high or low, and he scores. I might be harsh, he's stretching. Something tells me he should have got a better contact on it. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I being harsh? Am I being harsh? I don't know. I'm still in a bad mood about this performance. I'm going to be honest. Maybe he should have got... And I thought Saka's second half was poor. And we're going to talk about it in player ratings. I think first half he played well. I thought second half he was poor. SFT said I'm being harsh. Did he have to stretch? Said FF R95 just compose and steady himself. Chris said it's a painful one. Mish said being harsh. The ball's going fast towards him. Harsh, it's full stretch. Fair enough. Memphis is available in the fantasy. Yeah, Memphis Depay and Rabiot are the 2 high-profile players that are out of contract. But would you guys take any of them? Yeah, the Odegaard miss as well in the first half. Was it on here somewhere? Let me have a look. I think it might have been, Was this it? Here we go. I didn't even plan to do this one, but... Oh, man. I mean... He's unmarked here. It was on his right foot. I mean, look at that. He's in front of the penalty spot, unmarked. And when you look at where it ends up, it's straight at the goalkeeper. Should do better. It's a weak finish. It's a weak finish. Yeah, it is. It's weak. Listen, weaker foot and all that, but just pump your foot through it, man. You know what it's like when it comes to you on your weaker foot, you're not as strong there. Just bang, just hit it hard. It either goes in the bottom corner or you whack it and maybe it flies over. I'd rather you do that than this little tap finish, man. Hit the damn ball. We did it a few times. Saka had one in the first half. Some little tap shot. We're too nice. Anyway, let me get out of there. That was my little Carragher, Gary Neville review. If only I could just play it, man, and do some proper. Maybe we'll have to do it on Twitch at some stage because you can play it there. But hey, big up to everyone locked in. Right. Let's do these player ratings. Damn. I haven't written them. And we're going to have some honest conversations about people. This ain't me just, here to rip people apart. It's not that. But I've got concerns. And I would have had these concerns even if we'd have won this game, by the way. Arsenal drew 1-1. Havertz on 38. João Pedro on 58 after Declan Rice was sent off. And as I said, people, you get a man sent off. You know, as a captain, as a manager, for the next 10 minutes, tighten that team together. Because we're in a bit of a crazy... We have to adjust to the fact we're now down to 10 men. For the next 10 minutes, defence get narrow. Midfield, sit and protect. Wingers tuck in. Leave Havertz up there. Defend. We don't need to score. I wish I could have spoken to you. You don't need to score. If you defend well, you nick it 1-0. And we concede within 9 minutes with the stupidest goal. It's so frustrating. We did not need to score. And I felt like Arsenal felt like they needed to score again. They didn't. You're down to 10 men. The game's totally transitioned now. Hang on and win 1-0. And they were too open. Big, massive gap between the two centre-backs. Timber still inverting. Partey not sniffing the danger. It's not good enough. And where's the leadership? And this is where I do get onto people like Martin Odegaard. You're not just wearing the captain's armband to do the huddle before the game. Talk to the team. Tell Saliba and Gabriel, get together. But, again, maybe he did. Maybe he did tell them. I don't know. I wasn't on the pitch, so maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but it's so frustrating. Right, let's go into the player ratings. And again, I haven't written any ratings down. This is pure freestyle settings. And the disappointing thing about this game, I mean, they had more possession than us in both halves. So it's not like people will go, yeah, it's because you were down to 10 men. No, they had 52% possession in the first half and 65% overall. Our pass accuracy was 74% compared to their 85%. Now, again, it does drop. You go down to 10 men. You've got a less player to pass to. You might give the ball away more. But this performance, even in the first half, they had a lot of the ball. Let's go through the player ratings. And again, look at the game. 4 yellow cards, and Rice got another yellow card, which led... So we got 5 yellow cards in that game. Why? It wasn't even a game of ill discipline. Again, that's where the referee was poor. But once you know a referee's like that, manage the game better. David Raya, I thought was excellent. The goal's not his fault. A bit lucky it goes underneath him. Would I give David Raya man of the match? I probably would. For the Havertz miss. If Havertz scores, he's man of the match for me. And Havertz was actually our best attacking player in the game. I'm going to give Raya man of the match, and I'm going to give him... I haven't written anything down here, so I'm literally going... The save was fantastic. He got booked for time wasting, so I have no problem with that. I'll give him an 8. And I tell you what, let me tell you something. Me giving David Raya man of the match week after week is a problem. I tell you that. I don't want to give David Raya man of the match. Because that means he's making crucial saves. That means we're getting opened up. That's a concern. David Raya, I don't want him to be getting man of the match. I want Havertz, I want Trossard, I want Saka, I want the attacking players. I don't want the goalkeeper to be getting man of the match. I go with an 8 because I think we lose the game. If we lose the game, we're having an absolute meltdown today. That save that he made was outstanding. I'm giving him an 8. I thought he did well. 8 out of 10. Let's go into the back four. Ben White got roasted. Like simple. Ben White got roasted, mate. Mitoma looked like the Mitoma from 2 years ago that everybody wanted to sign. He ran Ben White ragged in that game. Again, second half, it gets more difficult. You're down to 10 men. You get 1v1 a lot more. I thought Ben White got cooked, honestly. And I ain't talking about the suntan. Mitoma was shredding him, like just slowing him down and just outpacing him. I give him a 4. I thought he got done time after time. He didn't play well. And Mitoma's a player, by the way. He looked very good. I thought Ben White was poor. Didn't even get forward that much and put decent crosses in. I thought he got dealt with. If I was rating Mitoma, I'd have probably give him 8 out of 10. So, listen, it's not easy. He got 1v1 with him a lot, but he got the better of him a number of times as well. Timber did do better against Matoma. So let's talk about Timber. I thought Timber was probably our best defender. Probably our best defender, and he got booked. It was a bit of a crazy challenge. But again, I thought he was our best defender. I don't think they caused a lot of problems down that side. And like you said, he's a centre-back playing at left-back. He's been out for a year. I think he's done well both games. I'll give him 6.5. 6.5. I thought he was just above average. But I'm still fuming about the goal that we conceded. And listen, yeah, 6.5. I'll give him just above average. And again, he's got an injury now, so we don't know what that is. If he's out injured, again, we got another problem. You maybe got to go Calafiori left back against Tottenham. If we'd have won, I'd have given him higher, but the draw pulls the ratings down a little bit for me. Lawrence said he don't think he's been great. He would start with Calafiori. Fair enough. I think he's been pretty solid. I don't feel like any of the danger has really come down his side. Johan said it was cramp. That's great news then. 2 centre-backs for me get marked down. I'm sorry. Both of them get marked down. I'll give them 5.5. That goal is avoidable. It's not good communication. It's lack of leadership. To be honest, you shouldn't even need somebody to tell you to tighten up. You should do that yourself. They actually played all right throughout the game, but that moment costs you the game. And yeah, Partey should have covered, and we'll talk about him in the ratings, but talk to each other. Lads, we're down to 10 men. Gabriel, get close to me. Saliba, get close to me. Let's not leave big gaps. I'm sorry, that should not happen. It should. I'm going to give him a 5, actually. 5.5's too high. I'm giving him a 5. No leadership, no communication. One striker running through the middle of 2 centre-backs. It is poor. I am marking them down. I don't care what they've done in the past. And you know I love both of them, but I'm sorry, that is shambolic. One striker running through. The ball came from their centre-back. So, I've always said, right, and I'm just looking at factual information. I've always said, why is Arteta constantly trying to sign left-footed centre-backs? Is he actually thinking about replacing Gabriel? Remember, the year he signed Zinchenko, he had an offer rejected for Lisandro Martinez. Then the year later, he signed Kivior. Then this year, he signs Calafiori. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe he wants Calafiori at left-back. But has anyone else got a feeling that he's willing to replace Gabriel? Sometimes we sit there and think, what a player this guy is. But we thought Ramsdale was a quality goalkeeper who'd been in the PFA Team of the Year. And he replaced him for Raya. And Raya is an upgrade on him at this time. I would not be surprised, as much as we love Gabriel, if he replaced him at some stage with Calafiori. Honestly, I wouldn't. Because why have you consistently tried to find another left-footed centre-back? Maybe he doesn't like the way he plays on the ball. You know, and listen, make no mistake, beginning of last season, he dropped him and he was nearly selling him to Saudi. So, you know, the same way he wanted Mudryk, did he really love Martinelli as much as we all think? I don't know. But I'm giving them both 5 out of 10. Let's go into the midfield. I mean, I'm going to be honest. These 3, in my opinion, all of them are getting marked down for that performance. All 3 of them. For me, Martin Odegaard is one of the most important players in this team. I thought he looked good in pre-season. I don't think he started this season very well. I'm not even going to start off with his rating. I'm just generalising. I thought the midfield was poor. Poor. Let me just say something. And I gotta go full screen, people. I gotta go full screen. Last season, we spent £105 million on a player that was one of our best players last season. I would say he was the best ball-winning number 6 in the league. The second best number 6 in the league overall. We know Rodri's top dog. Declan Rice, number 2. You come back at the start of this season and all of a sudden he's a number 8. A left-sided number 8. And people like me are sitting there criticising him. Going, he looks poor, he looks tired, he don't look great on the ball, he offers very little in attack. But if I'm Declan Rice, I'm knocking on the door, I'm going, what are you doing to me here, bro? What are you doing to me here? I'm one of the best number sixers in Europe. And you've got me playing left 8 and I'm being criticised for it. And I'm not good enough to play in that role. So what are we doing here, people? He looks knackered. He played nearly every game for us, gone to the Euros, played every game to the final. He's come back. Instead of playing in the role, imagine you come back, you're tired, you haven't had a full pre-season. The one thing you don't want to do is then be trying to adjust to a different role that doesn't suit you, that probably means you have to run more because you're going box to box. You're not sitting in front of the back four and just clamping people and then passing it on. So I think he's being absolutely stitched up. He is one of the best number sixers in Europe, in world football, to be honest. As an 8, he is average. Let me say it as it is. As an 8, Declan Rice, average. Nobody would say, yo, we need a number 8. Let's sign Declan Rice. Leo, come on, mate. Come on. Do me a favour, right? Half a season he played number 6 in a single pivot. Havertz and Odegaard was in front of him. Yeah, towards the end of the season, they changed it at times. Partey came back. Jorginho played at times. Even with Jorginho, it was more of a double pivot. Rice could join in sometimes. We're actually playing him in an advanced role now. And he does not look the same player. And I tell you, when he was getting forward more last season, he wasn't on the left of midfield playing that close to Martinelli. This is a totally different role for him. And it's not working. So I'm not saying he can't get forward and be the more advanced one of a double pivot, like he did with Jorginho or like he did with Partey. But this year, he's 20 yards ahead of Partey and he's on the left-hand side. We're absolutely wasting him and stitching him up. He looks so average. He's getting criticised left, right and centre. And I agree. Matt, listen, I agree. The plan was probably to play Marino where Rice is playing and put Rice where Partey's playing. But guess what, mate? If that's your plan, get the deal done quickly. Get the deal done quickly for Marino so that he's in for the start of the season. Don't buy him at the end of August with no pre-season because these early games can cost you because you're still trying to figure things out. Saka said Rice was statistically the best ball-winning midfielder. Big C, you're 100% right. He was in a single or double pivot, not an attacking left 8. Trust me, people. I'm not saying he can't get forward and join in. He got 15 GA last season. But not as a left attacking centre mid. It stinks. It absolutely stinks. I don't get it. Just said Rice is overrated. Are we going to start having that conversation? Arteta's experimenting like last year until the fans wake him up. Crazy. Partey, Rice can't pass through the lines like Partey. I agree with that. I do agree with that. On the ball, on the half turn, Rice is not elite on the edge of his own penalty area. And that's probably why Arteta wants to play him further up the pitch. And he thinks Partey is more comfortable in the 6 role receiving the ball. But the problem you have with that, number 1, Declan Rice going forward is not that good. And number 2, Thomas Partey doesn't have the legs at the moment to deal with danger when he's playing against quick centre mids. That's the problem. So how do you fix that? To me, you put Rice in the 6. Take him for what he is. He's not unbelievable on the ball, but he's amazing at winning the ball back. He protects our centre-backs, got great energy, great power, and you try and improve his quality on the ball. That's what you're there for as a coach. So that's what I would do personally. Yeah, he's not Rodri on the ball, but you knew that when you paid 100 million for him. You don't pay 100 million for a 6, try and turn him into an 8. If you wanted an 8, buy an 8 for 100 million. Declan Rice, for me, gets a 4 out of 10. I'm sorry. The role doesn't work. The red card, he's got to take some responsibility for it. No one told him to kick the ball away. Whether the ref's poor or not, Declan Rice gets a 4. We win that game if you don't kick that ball away. And that's how you've got to look at it. Right? The ref's shocking. We know he's shocking. That role doesn't work. You let the team down. And now he's suspended for the derby, so he gets a 4 out of 10. And that's me being kind, to be honest. But I still think Rice is a quality player. I don't buy into this mindset that Rice is all of a sudden some bad player. He was outstanding last season. He's being played in the wrong role. And you will not see the best of him until he plays in the right position. He proved last season, play me in the 6, I'm top quality. Play me in the 8, he's average. So that's where I'm at with it. Thomas Partey wasn't terrible on the ball, but as I showed you on the goal, people, he could not sniff danger. If you got some hot chilies and put them under his nose, he wouldn't smell them. That guy is not the guy that he was 2 years ago. I'm sorry. I've been a fan of Thomas Partey. You've heard me on here. The general and all that. He ain't the general no more, people. He ain't the general no more. I'd say 2 years ago, he was the general. Now, he's like a security guard at Tesco. Like, that's where I'm at with him now. Like, he was the general in the army that nobody messed with. Now, he's the security guard at Tesco that's trying to make sure teenagers aren't stealing magazines. Like, I'm sorry, people. No, no, no. He's got to sit down and relax now. Legs have gone. Yeah, Casemiro thing, man. He's not the same player. You aren't winning a league with Thomas Partey in midfield. No. No, no, no. And I like Partey, but Paul Blart settings. What's it? Walmart Cop or whatever it is. Mall Cop. It's Blart settings. It is Blart settings, bro. I'm telling you. 4. Oh, he didn't get sent off. I'll give him, at least he stayed on the pitch. He played 90. I give him 4.5. I give him 4.5 just because you didn't get sent off. That's the most I could. Wow, wow. I'm just seeing this that you're saying. Osimhen to Galatasaray on loan. That is incredible. Who would have thought that? That is absolutely unbelievable. Victor Osimhen is given the green light on a loan move to Galatasaray. Still don't think we needed a striker. We could have potentially got Osimhen on loan. That's an unbelievable move. Now, obviously, the windows have closed all around Europe. Turkish window and Saudi window is still open. He's had his number 9 shirt taken off him and given to Lukaku, so they obviously just want him out. But if £110 million striker is going to a club on loan, why on earth did we not try and get him on loan on deadline day when we clearly needed a striker? That just winds me up even more. Yeah, Partey, 4.5. I mean, I'm saying he's finished. He's got to start the North London derby in centre mid, probably next to Jorginho, because Declan Rice is suspended. Martin Odegaard, I thought he was poor. As I said, that right-footed volley, I thought he should have done better. The pass to Calafiore, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. If I said to you, tell me the player that you want to pick that pass, you would say Martin Odegaard. And the man's doing some mad, trying to whip it over the guy when he can just curl it round him. Calafiore's one-on-one. Honestly, people, I thought he had a stinker. And the fact you're dragging off your captain when you're in the... We was in the trenches. Down to 10 men. Now, listen, he might have been injured. He got kicked in the first half. But how does he not make that pass to Calafiore? I don't understand. I really don't get it. Never disrespect Ozil like that, bro. He's not at that point, you know. He's not. You give Mesut that ball, mate, he finds that pass all day long. Now, I do rate Odegaard because he works harder than Mesut, but Mesut makes that pass, bro. Calafiore's one-on-one. I thought he was poor, Odegaard. And I actually think he started the season poorly as well. I really do. No goals, no assist. Opening 3 games. I'm giving him a 4. Now, I give him 4.5 because Rice got sent off. It probably costs us. But I give him 4.5. Our midfield was bagel settings. Ewan said, what would your starting 11 be against Spurs? I'd probably play the same 11 that started the other day, I would play I would make 2 changes to the 11. I would play. Are we actually gonna have to play Jorginho and Partey? I can't even get my head around that. I don't even know who I'd play. It's like we've got no choice. He plays Zinchenko, but he's going to play Jorginho. I tell you one thing I would do, by the way. I'm starting Raheem Sterling, left wing. And I said this the other day. I said, a lot of people in the chat were saying, I didn't want Sterling. I tell you something, Raheem Sterling starts left wing for Arsenal. The way our 2 left wingers are playing. So, yeah, I don't know how you fix that midfield. Probably you just got to go Jorginho and Rice and hope they both sit there and protect. Don't run forward too much. Unless he gambles on Zinchenko, but I don't know. Let's go to the front 3. Trossard, non-existent. Played 1 decent cross in the first half. Apart from that, did nothing. I'll give him 5. The unfortunate thing with Trossard is we're still in this merry-go-round with Trossard. Trossard comes off the bench, plays really well. We all want him to start. He then starts, puts in a couple decent performances. Then he disappears. Then he gets dropped. Back to the bench. Comes off the bench, plays well. Call for him to start. We're back to square one. Stella R. Trossard. Trossard will probably never be a starting 11 player at Arsenal. I think he is Arsenal's Solskjaer, as someone just said there. That's absolutely bang on. Trossard is Ole Gunnar. Some players are just quality off the bench. And listen, I'm not saying he can't start games, but consistently, it just hasn't happened for him. And that's why I would start Raheem Sterling. Yeah, I will give Trossard more than Odegaard, because at least Trossard created a big chance. You know, Odegaard, he should have given a through ball to Calafiori. And, yeah. All right, 4.5. We'll go 4.5 as well. We'll match him. He was no better. To be fair. He didn't do anything. We'll give him 4.5. They're all pretty bad. DJ said he is Origi. He could be. Let's go to Saka. First half, Saka, I would have probably given him an 8. 7 or 8. Second half, I'll probably give him a 4. I thought Saka was awful in the second half. We had a counter-attack. I think it was Havertz in front of him. He played a 10-yard pass and overhit it. I was like, what on earth is that? But first half, he was good. He did set up the goal. He put in a shift with 10 men. I'd probably give him a 6. I wouldn't mark him down. I think the performance balances itself. 8 first half, 4 second half. I balance him at a 6. I'm starting to worry about Saka, and I tell you why. Saka's another player that I look at and I think Saka might look at this Arsenal team sideways and think, do you know what? I'm 22 years of age. I should be kind of developing under nice, relaxed circumstances. I'm actually looked at as the saviour of this team. Because let's be honest, at the moment, Saka carries Arsenal's attack. Now, as a 22-year-old, do you want that responsibility? Or would you like it if you had a bit less pressure on you and you could just relax a bit and, you know, just focus on your game? Where Saka's like, if Saka has a quiet game, he kind of gets hammered a little bit. Sometimes I'm like, bro, he's 22 years of age. He shouldn't have to carry Arsenal's attack. We're one of the biggest clubs in the world. What about the striker and the left winger? What are they doing? Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's nice to be looked upon as the main man and, yo, I'm the main guy at Arsenal. But at the same time, I want other people to take some of the responsibility off me. They've got to be careful with him. I'm telling you, they've got to be careful. Because eventually he might sit there and go, you know what, I'd rather be at Man City watching Haaland bag and then I can, you know. Maybe he doesn't mind. I could be reading this wrong, by the way. I think more it's the trophies. More it'll be the trophies. I'm doing all this work, carrying this responsibility, but what am I getting at the end of it in terms of success? Financially, yes, but trophies, no. But I think other people have to do more instead of... I don't like Arsenal looking at Saka to win us things all the time. Yeah, he is a match-winning player, but I want the other guys to step up as well. Instead of sitting there in his shadow and going, Saka will sort it out. Nah, I want a left winger that does the business. I want a striker that takes responsibility. Havertz, do you know what? I'm going to be totally honest. I think Havertz was Arsenal's best player outside of David Raya. I gave David Raya man of the match. I think he was our best player. He scored a very good goal. He put a great ball in for Saka, but he misses the one-on-one. I'm not going to mark him down. He scored a good goal. He could have had an assist. He started the season pretty well. How high can I rate him? I'm going to give him a 7. But it's got there's a big question mark after the 7. It's the missed chance. If he scores, he gets 9 out of 10 man of the match. If he scores, he gets 9 out of 10. Fine margins in football. Fine margin. I actually think he had a really good game. Apart from that time, when he tripped himself up on the rebound from Saka's. I actually think Havertz had a very good game. I got to be totally honest. The cross for Saka, really good. The goal he scored, proper striker's finish. And I don't want people to think I'm annihilating him because he missed a one-on-one, because strikers miss one-on-ones. The unfortunate thing about that one-on-one is it's a major part of the reason that we didn't get 3 points. If he scores, we probably hang on and win 2-1. So, yeah. That's it. Listen, strikers are judged on chances, and it's a massive chance, and we win the game. AMSN said, in one-on-ones, I only trust Trossard at the moment. And like you said, John, and that's my point. We don't want him to end up like Fabregas. Fabregas got to a point at Arsenal where it was like, I'm carrying the whole team. It went from, it's nice that I'm the main man at such a young age, to actually, there's too much responsibility on my shoulders and we're not even lifting silverware at the end of the season. And eventually Fab wanted out of that. He said, I want to go to a top club where I don't have so much responsibility and I know I'm going to win major honours. We just got to make sure we don't lead to that situation with Bukayo Saka. Responsibility is fine, but not carrying the attack. Other people have to step up and win games for us as well. Mash said, I think with Havertz, we should always expect, he will sometimes miss one-on-ones. It's hard to take. They said the same thing in Germany. He missed a one-on-one against Spain in the Euros. If he'd have scored that, they might have won the Euros because Spain were the best team in the competition. If they knocked them out, they might have suddenly become the favourites. Jerome said, big up Big C in the community. Mikel Arteta said we need 114 points to win the league. Arsenal can't drop any more points. Well, yeah, of course, but I doubt that's going to happen, but we can't drop many more. Big up Jerome. What's there to say? Said Arteta is going to be in big trouble this season. I mean, I hope he's not, because if he is, it means something's gone wrong, but I am a little bit concerned. Sahil said, the only way I forgive this transfer window is if Isak is guaranteed next summer. One thing I've learnt, my friend, nothing is guaranteed with the Kroenkes. Probably apart from an element of disappointment. Jay Dime, big up to you for becoming a new member. Brian said I'd play Waneri over Jorginho. Do you throw him in there and say it's sink or swim? I don't know. I just don't think Arteta would do that, would he? He'll go Jorginho. He might even... It was interesting that he brought Zinchenko on in midfield over Jorginho. Guna Carla said, Sterling at left wing makes me extremely happy. I think people severely underestimate him. His Chelsea spell involved him ripping up wing backs and pace. Listen, I said on deadline day I was happy with Sterling joining. I think sometimes we overestimate some of our players. And left wing is a problem at Arsenal. But we'll see. It depends what Sterling we get. I think he's motivated. S. Ronnie said, I'm starting a new carnivore diet. Wish me luck. Good luck, bro. Good luck. So Havertz gets a 7. Let's quickly go through the bench. I mean, who did we even bring on? Martinelli. Can hardly remember him touching the ball. Zinchenko. Hardly remember him touching the ball. Calafiori. Would have been one-on-one. Might have got the winner. The bench was severely weak. They probably had a better bench than us. Lamptey, Estupinian, Adingra, Rutir, and Ciso. These good players there. Ayari, a lot of people were saying he's a very good player. Obviously, when you get Sterling back, you get Neto, you get Tomiyasu, you get who else is out? Gabriel Jesus. You know, those guys severely improved the team and the bench, but at the moment the bench is weak. So we need those guys back during this international break. Marino and Rice out, using Zinchenko. I would like to see Zinchenko play midfield. But he'll go with Jorginho. He'll go with Jorginho. Marino's out for 6 to 8 weeks, by the way, people. So you're talking about the end of October before Marino's back, which is terrible for us. Obviously, I'm sure, like most of you, I thought, okay, we've dropped points. Let me watch Man City against West Ham. I had a little bit of hope. Thought West Ham at home with Kudus, Paqueta, Bowen, just signed Somerville, Wan-Bissaka, Fulkrug, Todibo, good signings. I thought at home, you know, I'm forever blowing bubbles and all that. They might trouble Man City. They got beat. Obviously, Haaland, robot again. Absolutely. He looks like he's going to break his own record this year, 36 league goals. And then you're looking at it and you look at the Man City bench. Rodri's just came back. Hasn't even kicked a ball yet, by the way. Rodri, you know, was on the bench for the whole 90 minutes. One of their best players. Phil Foden's not even back in the squad yet. Premier League Player of the Year last year. Stones on the bench. Ake on the bench. Gundogan on the bench. Kyle Walker. Nunes. You know, Rico Lewis all of a sudden. Stepping into midfield. Bopping. And you're just like, boy, man. We seem to start the season slow because it always seems like we're either experimenting, i.e. Rice playing left centre mid. The year before, Thomas Partey was playing at right back. Havertz was playing in midfield. And it worries me because we drop points at that stage in the season. So, you know, we need to get our injured players back. Listen, I am frustrated. I feel like we should have beaten Brighton with 10 or 11 players. I think we should have beaten them. However, they've got to use these 2 weeks to respond. Now, my worry is now, you know, players like Declan Rice needs a break. He's going to go and play 2 games for England and get more game time. And Saka's going to play for England. And, you know, I wish we'd pulled a few of these players out of the international squad to give them a break. I was looking through the team. Big up TH, listening to Big C during my workout. I was looking at the Arsenal team. Gabriel Martinelli's not in the Brazil squad. But Trossard, Havertz, Saka, Odegaard, Partey, Rice, Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, and David Raya, they are all on international duty. You know, Ben White isn't. Raheem Sterling isn't. Calafiori is. Kivior is. So there's not a lot of players. Martinelli isn't. So there's not a lot of players who aren't going away on international. So we've got to hope that these guys all come back fresh. And we've now got a monster week after this international break because the Atalanta fixture, which is the first of our Champions League games, is midweek between Tottenham and Manchester City. So we come back from the international break, Tottenham away, then midweek, Atalanta away in the Champions League, then at the weekend, Manchester City away in the Premier League. No Mikel Merino for any of those games. Rice will obviously be back for the Champions League and the Man City game. So we need Jesus back. We need players back. And we need Sterling. Obviously, the good thing about Sterling, he isn't in the England squad. He'll be on the training ground for 2 weeks. DJ, you're right. I thought Kudus looked like the standout player of West Ham. I would have loved it if we'd have got that guy. How we didn't get that deal done with Ajax, I think it was the profit and sustainability thing again stopped us doing it, man. 35 million, what a bargain. Let's have a look. What are people saying in the chat? Still think Prime Firmino is better than Havertz. That's not even a question, bro. Firmino is arguably one of the best false nines we've ever seen. He almost mastered that role. Gravenberch was quality, yeah. They didn't get a 6. They put him in the 6. He looked strong. Ayodeji said, I want Havertz back in midfield for the Spurs game. My heart can't take them uncles playing midfield. Thing is, Havertz in midfield, not ideal, but he did look all right there in pre-season, but I'm not sure. Rahan said, yo, Curtis, Liverpool worry me. Yeah, because I think what's happened under Slot is Liverpool played Klopp rock and roll football, which is almost like all-out attack, full-backs high, centre-backs on the halfway line. I think what Slot's done has said, slow down a little bit, keep the ball, defend a little bit deeper, win games 1 and 2-0 rather than Klopp was always trying to hammer teams 3 or 4-0. And sometimes you end up conceding in trying to score those extra goals. So I think Liverpool are a big, big problem because Luis Diaz, I've had a lot of arguments about Luis Diaz the last few years with Liverpool fans. They love him. I've always said he's a good player, but he doesn't put up the numbers that a top winger should. He looks like this year he's going to score goals. Salah looks fresh hairline. Didn't go to a didn't go to an international competition in the summer. I think the Arsenal team's still having a little bit of a hangover of the summer. When you look at the Arsenal team, Trossard, Havertz, Saka, all went to the Euros. Rice gets to the final, we lose that. Saliba with France. Gabriel got knocked out in the quarterfinal. Timber's recovering from an ACL. I just think there's a little bit of a Euros hangover, but everyone's got it as well. So we can't even use that excuse because I'm sure most of the Man City and the Liverpool team probably had similar things. It's funny, a lot of you in the comments, what do you guys think? Rabiot. A lot of people were talking about this. It's been put online. Rabiot and Memphis Depay are the 2 big name players that are out of contract that can be signed outside of the transfer window. Would you guys take Memphis Depay or Rabiot at Arsenal on a free transfer? Would any of you guys take those 2? I mean, none of them are what I would want. I don't even know which one. I think Rabiot is the one that I would be more open-minded about taking because there is a problem with our midfield and he's not bad. Depay's a strange player because technically Memphis Depay is a fantastic player. Touch, skill, he's got everything technically, but he flatters to deceive a little bit, Depay. Drops deep, doesn't score many goals, a little bit injury prone. I just don't know if Memphis Depay solves anything for Arsenal. And Rabiot, I don't know what it is about Rabiot that puts me off. Maybe his mum talks too much in the interview. She's his agent. He wouldn't be terrible, He wouldn't be terrible as a squad player. But I think he wants massive wages. People saying, check the tweet from Sammy Mockbell. What is he saying? By the way, anybody who's just tuned in, Victor Osimhen going to Galatasaray on loan, which is absolutely unbelievable. You're talking about a guy that was set to be, 110 million release clause. Now they're saying, a loan deal to Galatasaray. Unbelievable. Delusional Fraud said, our full-strength squad isn't deep enough to beat City for the title. I'd prefer we win the Champions League. Yeah, if only it was that simple, bro. If only it was that simple. Niffin said, Big C looks like Depay. It's getting out of hand now. Depay, Calvert-Lewin, what are you guys doing to me? Light skin tax, man. What's going on here? Anyone mixed race with Cane Rose? I look like them, apparently. You know what I mean? But, hey, we'll move on. It's not even breaking news. Sammy Mockbell saying Mourinho set to miss close to 2 months with a fractured shoulder, penciled in for mid-October return after the next international break. It'll be like a new signing, people. It'll be like a new signing. Memphis to Shore. See, you've set them off now again. You've set them all off. It's outrageous. Come on, surely not. But hey, we knew Mourinho was out injured anyway. It's not exactly breaking news. 6 to 8 weeks. Dre said we're finishing third. City first. Liverpool second. SM said, big up C. Arteta is resting on his laurels. The system is crying for an update. Midfield is being sussed by the opposition with pressing, need for tactical progress and specialists in key areas. I think you've made a great point there. I think if you stand still, people figure you out unless your players are of such a high level that they can't. Like, you play Man City and it's Rodri, De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. It doesn't matter if they've been the same players for 3 years. They're that good, you can't deal with them. I think Arsenal this year were crying out for a game changer in their attack. Declan Rice was a game changer for us last season in midfield. Saliba's been a game changer at the back. You could argue David Raya has, to be honest, with what he's done so far, even though I don't think he's a world-class goalkeeper. Arsenal needed a game changer in that front line. A top-quality left winger, an exciting left winger, Kvara from Napoli, or, I don't know, Nico Williams, Rafa Leao, a striker that puts fear in the opposition, something. They needed a new element to that front line, and we didn't do it. I think Sterling can be decent, but I don't think you're going to get Sterling at the level that he was at 5-10 years ago. Well, not 10, maybe 5-6 years ago when he was at City. So, SM, I think you're totally right with that. TV1's put a comment in a few times. I've missed it. So, said, Curtis, when you're an up-and-coming team knocking on the door like us, you only get a few chances to knock it down before the best players leave and you go backwards. That is where we are at right now. And the problem is, TV1, like you've said, it only takes somebody else to overtake us and say, get out the way. You're not actually knocking on that door properly. Somebody said it on Sky. I forget who it was. It was a very harsh comment, but it resonated a little bit. And I don't like saying these things because they are criticisms of Arsenal. But he said, when Liverpool were chasing Manchester City were fearful of Liverpool. They knew Liverpool were coming. You've seen it in the All or Nothing documentary. Pep was literally like, before they played Liverpool, it was like, how do I deal with Mane and Salah? Anyone who's watched that documentary, you'll know what I'm saying. You could tell Pep was like, listen, tactically I can deal with anybody. But Mane and Salah and that high press, he was like, I don't know how you deal with this Liverpool team. It's like they knew they were coming. And listen, they only won one title, but they won the Champions League. It was almost like they were semi-fearful of Liverpool. I don't think Man City are scared of Arsenal. I think they respect Arsenal. I think they know Arsenal are a very good upcoming team with a lot of good young players. Their former assistant manager is the manager. Maybe even that gives them a little bit less fear towards us because they know Arteta and it's like, oh, you're just little bro of Pep. So I think they respect Arsenal, but I still don't think they're fearful of us. And I think that's something that you need to change. I think to scare Man City, you've got to have players in your team that they feel like they're going to struggle to cope with. Mane and Salah were at a level where when they turned up against Man City, it was like, yo, whoever's at right back, Kyle Walker, Mane's probably going to give him a long day at the office. Salah's going to rip your left back apart. I still think they look at Arsenal and think, you know what? Double up on Saka. They're not great down the left. Havertz ain't going to do much against Diaz and Stones. And then De Bruyne and Rodri and them lot will go to work in midfield. And I think they... and then, listen, we took 4 points off them last year. But I just still think we haven't changed the mentality of Manchester City towards us. I still think they believe they're better than us. I still think they look at us and go, you know what? If we play well against Arsenal, we'll beat them. Got a better midfield, got a better striker, probably got a better... I won't say better defence because we conceded less, but on paper, individually, they might think it's better. Better goalkeeper and a better manager. And they have that mindset. They know how to win. So... yeah, I mean, I hope I'm not delving too much into something else here, but I just honestly think we missed a big opportunity this summer to bring in a game changer that would have given us an extra dimension. An Alexis Sanchez and a Aubameyang kind of level signing in the attack. This morning we got a bit of a surprise, and that was Fabrizio, who I thought went into hiding for the next 6 months. Came out and said... Al Ittihad, which I believe is the team that Benzema plays for, Saudi side Al Ittihad have submitted a proposal in the region of 35 million euros, which is around 30 million pounds, for Leandro Trossard. The decision is up to Arsenal. He's always been an important player for Arteta. The official proposal arrives ahead of the Saudi Pro deadline as Al Ittihad are looking for a new winger. Would you guys have accepted it? I mean, listen, the window's closed. We've only got 4 wingers. Naturally, you've got to reject it, right? You have to reject it. And to be fair, Arsenal did reject it. About an hour later, Fabrizio tweeted again, Arsenal have informed Al Ittihad about their decision to reject the £35 million proposal for Leandro Trossard. As exclusively revealed, he's considered a key player for the project and not for sale. Al Ittihad are now targeting Porto winger Galeno with an official bid. Listen, obviously the bid's not high enough. The window's closed. We've only got 4 wingers with obviously Martinelli, Trossard, Sterling and Saka. Champions League games, Carabao Cup games, it would have been I would have been going absolutely mental if we sold him. The interesting thing would have been, though, would they have sold him if the window was open? That would have been a different conversation. I still think the offer would have been too low, and I think this is the first proper bid that we've had from a Saudi club. I know they were obviously interested in Gabriel last summer, but, you know, you see all these Saudi offers, mega offers. You're thinking, when are you going to buy one of our players? Yeah, listen, we have to remind people, Trossard got 12 goals last year. For a guy that doesn't start every week, he's been very effective. He is 30 years of age in December. But I think Trossard is a fantastic squad player. I don't think he's the long-term solution playing left wing, but he definitely has a role to play. He's a very clutch player, very good technical player. And again, yeah, 35 million is not enough. I think if that got up, I mean, like you've said there, Avinab, if they got to 50 million, I think Arsenal would sell him. Going to be honest. Not now, with the window open. If the Saudis would have turned up a week ago and said, maybe we could give 50 million for Trossard, I think they might have got rid of him, you know. We paid about 27 million pounds for him. I think if that would have got to 50 million, considering he's been at the club 18 months, I think 50 million, they might have taken it. They might have. Yeah, and that is euros, so maybe it would have took 50 million pound, which is close to 60 million euros, which, yeah, they're probably not going to pay that. Jim said Partey can go in January. The problem with that, bro, is that he can sign a pre-contract at a club outside of the Premier League for a free transfer at the end of the season. So I think, listen, the only club you could sell him to in January really would be a Premier League club. I don't see anyone in the Prem coming for him. Why would he leave for a price in January when he can leave at the end of the season and get a bigger signing on fee as a free agent? Thomas Partey will be at Arsenal until the end of the season, in my opinion. He will then go somewhere else and get a massive signing on fee. But Partey for me, what I've seen of him is he's done as he's a squad player at Arsenal moving forward. It'll probably be Mourinho and Rice. That's a good point. I mean, Leigh said maybe a question if Saudi comes for Partey. I just think now, what does the money mean to Arsenal with the window closed? I suppose you could say, yeah, if you could sell Partey now for big money and then in January you can go and buy a quality midfielder that's younger and more energetic, that makes sense. But then that also means you've got to get to January with Rice, who looks tired, Jorginho, who's in his 30s and not the most mobile, and Marino's out till the end of October, so it would be a big risk. It's probably too risky. Imagine selling Partey today and then you're playing a midfield of Jorginho and Zinchenko, you know, against Tottenham. So, but I suppose it all depends. Listen, what you could do, if you was being really smart, if you could sell Partey for 40 million or something like that and get Rabiot in on a free, that might not be bad business. Or, you know, some people are saying maybe Timber can play centre mid. So, yeah, that is a good point. If the Saudis came in with a big offer for Partey, I just get the impression Partey's going to see out the contract. And he's going to get the big signing on fee. He's settled in London. Apparently he loves it here. He's got a young family. There never seemed to be any willingness for him to go to Saudi. But, yeah, let's see on that one. So Trossard stays. 35 million euro bid rejected. And, yeah, we kind of are where we are. Let's have a little look at the Premier League table. I think it is important to remember it's early, but it's so difficult when you're competing with Manchester City because they set a standard that makes it so difficult that a draw feels like a disaster, especially when you've drawn with a team that on paper you should beat at home. I think it's different if you draw with Man City away, Liverpool away, a tough game like that away from home. You're not happy, but you can understand it. Drawing with Brighton at home, even though Brighton are level with us, it just kind of feels like, come on. The one thing that's a couple of things to look at, by the way, already is, and again, it's early, so maybe I'm looking into this too much. Arsenal have to find a way to score more goals, in my opinion, this season. Man City have got 9 goals already. On paper, I would say that they had Ipswich. That was quite easy. But they've had 2 quite difficult away games on paper in Chelsea and West Ham. They've already scored 9. As I said, Haaland's got more goals than Arsenal. We got 5 goals. We've only conceded 1, which is a goal we shouldn't have even conceded, which is the one against Brighton, which is disappointing because we'd have probably had 3 clean sheets if it wasn't for that red card. But I think the standard's going to be very high this year. Liverpool haven't conceded in 3 games. They've scored 7. We've scored 5, conceded 1. City have scored 9, conceded 2. So, but listen, it's early. They say don't even look at the table till you've played, 9, 10 games. But when you're competing with City, everything's under the microscope. You can't afford 2 or 3 bad results or anything like that. The next game is vital. Tottenham, we've got to beat them. Because after Tottenham, we play Man City. Now, you do not want to go into Man City away on the back of 2 negative results in terms of dropping points. We've got to go and beat Tottenham. We beat Tottenham last year at their place. I believe we can beat them again. But obviously, we will be missing Declan Rice. So we've got to find another way. Do we put Jorginho next to Thomas Partey? Do we put Zinchenko next to Thomas Partey? Or do we do something else? A lot of people have been saying Timber can play DM and you could play Calafiori at left back. I haven't seen him play in midfield, so I don't really know how good he is in that role. So we're going to have to find a way. And listen, like I said, for me, I think Raheem Sterling starts the next game on that left-hand side. I really do. Let's have a look at the fixtures. We've got an incredibly tricky run coming up. What's going on here? Why is it moving off the screen? Get the matches back up. We've got a tough run coming up, people. So we've got Tottenham away Sunday 2:00. Obviously, this Carabao Cup game is going to be rearranged, so it says to be decided. On the 19th, we go to Atalanta away. Tough game. Europa League winners last season, and then Manchester City away. 3 massive away games in a row that will have a big say in how our season's going. We then have Leicester at home, and then PSG at home, which is a big game. Then we've got a bit of an easier run, Southampton, Bournemouth, and so on. So we've got to manage this next 6 games. Even the Champions League, because it's this league system now, you can't afford to get off to a slow start. Atalanta away and PSG at home, that's a tough start. It's harder than the games we had last year, playing Sevilla and PSV and teams like that in the group was a lot easier. These are teams with genuine pedigree. So these next few games are massive. To me, in the league, Premier League, as a minimum, you've got to beat Tottenham, you've got to beat Leicester, minimum draw with Man City, realistically. If you can get a win, of course, it's dreamland, but minimum a draw. So I think you've got to get 7 points from the next 3 league games. And then in the Champions League, I mean, I honestly don't know what to make of those games. I don't think we lose to Atalanta. I don't necessarily think we lose to PSG, but do we beat them? We haven't been amazing in Europe when we've played slightly better opposition. We didn't beat Porto over the 2 legs, you know. So obviously we beat them on penalties. So it's tricky. It is tricky. What we need, ideally, we need Gabriel Jesus back. We need Sterling up to speed. We need, obviously, Declan Rice to get through that suspension quickly. We need, Tomiyasu back. We need to have players on the bench that have something to offer so that games can be changed. Toby said we should have kept TSR. I mean, listen, I said all along, ESR can go if he's replaced. He wasn't replaced. That's my problem with it. I think we should have had another option for Martin Odegaard. I think we should have signed Eze. It was staring us in the face all summer. Sell Smith Rowe for 34 million, buy Eze for 60 million. But for whatever reason, I think we had financial difficulty. They won't tell us, but if we look at it, why did we only sign Calafiori once Smith Rowe went, and so on and so forth? Marino went and Nketiah went, and then we got a free 2 loans after that. So something financially was not how we thought it was this summer. And that obviously is a concern. I think that is because of what's happened over the previous summers where we haven't sold well and we've spent a lot of money. Mikel Merino out for 2 months. Sami Mokbel has confirmed it, so you're not going to see him until the end of October. Nathan said, Negril settings today, Curtis Shaw TV and chill. Bro, I wish I was in Negril right now. Jamaica getting some sunshine. The UK's gone back to grey skies and cold weather, man. Sesko, was it? It's interesting, isn't it? 55 million release clause for Sesko. What happened to that money? How come we wanted a striker at the beginning of the window and didn't get one by the end of the window? Tony went for 40 million. Gyökeres didn't go anywhere. Osimhen's going to Galatasaray on loan today, people, which is unbelievable. 110 million release clause. Someone's getting him on loan. Why did we not take him on loan? Who knows? Listen, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks. This week, we'll continue to do work. Try and do a few collabs. I will be doing the show with Turkish tonight, the OGs over on his channel. It will either be at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock. He said he's not sure yet what time he can do. So check over on his channel. We'll either be live at 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. And we'll go into a bit more detail there. If not, I will be back here at 2 p.m. tomorrow. And we'll try and do another member stream at the start of next week to discuss everything that's happening. And yeah, we'll go from there, people. Final super chat. S. Ronnie, Big C, would you rather we focus on the Prem and the FA Cup, then the Champions League? The Champions League title seems like a dream far away. I don't think we're in a position where we can even pick one, because we're not strong enough to guarantee that we can win any of them. Even if we said, yo, we're winning the FA Cup this year, Man City could beat us in a semi-final or at their ground and we're out. So I think we've got to get whatever we can, to be honest. I don't think we have the option of choosing. I think we've got whatever we can get. I think we've got to get whatever we can get. I've always said I want the Champions League because I want that star above the badge. I think the Champions League this year is harder than last year because Mbappe's at Real Madrid. He got his first 2 goals last night. For us to overcome Real Madrid and Manchester City is so difficult. And Liverpool have had a fantastic record in Europe over 2 legs as well. So I think it's a harder Champions League this year than it was last year. So I think it'd be very difficult for Arsenal to get near a Champions League. So then you're saying, okay, can we win the Prem? But the Prem is a marathon, not a sprint. And we seem to run out of steam towards the end of the season because our squad gets stretched. Maybe we don't have the goals. So maybe the league is our best option of a big trophy. But I wouldn't turn my nose up at the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. Honestly, I really wouldn't. We're at the moment, we're not good enough to say, I'm not bothered about the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. I want us to go to Wembley, have a final, beat somebody, lift silverware, have a big moment. So that's where I'm at. But listen, I hope it's one of the major trophies, of course. People saying Barcelona looking good, Bayern Munich as well. Yeah, listen, Bayern struggled last year and we couldn't beat them. So clearly in Europe, we've still got to adjust. People, thank you very much for tuning in. Really appreciate your support. As I said, keep an eye out for the OG show tonight. We'll either be at 5 o'clock or at 7 o'clock over on Turkish's channel. If not, I'm back here tomorrow, 2 p.m, talking all things Arsenal. Appreciate your support. Hit the like button and subscribe. And I will see you all tomorrow, people. Bless.